Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today, I am ready to drop on you my 8th iteration of my Fire Necromancer, and I have to say, this version is pretty different. As always, we will look at gameplay, skills, passives, gear, and of course, break down that character sheet. Now, everything is timestamped in the description below, loot filters below, and build planner is below. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now, this is a different version of my Fire Necromancer, and I feel like it is a lot stronger. Instead of focused on just raw minion damage, that is focused on crit and crit multiplier, which we still have technically in this build, your main damage is coming from dot and your minion ignite chance. So basically the idea is that you have so many minions, they're hitting all the enemies so many times that it's putting stacks of ignite on them, and then the enemy literally just melts away. Now, the skills we're going to be using are Summon Volatile Zombie, Summon Skeleton, Summon Skeletal Mage, Summon Bone Golem, and Summon Wraith. And I will show you the damage numbers when we're at the training dummy, and then after this run, we will go fight the Shade of Oribus, because a lot of people want to see boss fights when I am making these build guides. Now, some other things that are different. Our Wraiths don't move. Think of them as ballistas. They are stationary turrets now. But don't worry, since they're ranged, they do a ton of damage and they can still hit all targets. That is kind of like what you are summoning over and over again as you run around your little stationary turrets. Also on here, you will have Summon Volatile Zombie, but when you one-click it, it makes 5. So you make 5 in one click. It does have a longer cooldown, but you have barfing, vomiting zombies, so they will last longer. Like right now, I've still got 3, and now I've got 6 up. So as you can see, this is obviously an empowered run. We are literally just melting everything. People ask me what is a good farming build. I would say Fire Necro. Yesterday I was streaming this and we threw everything we could at it and it had no problem. That damage. And that run is done. All right, let's fight the Shade of Oribus. Time for Empowered Shade of Oribus, and we do have kill threshold with our zombies, just FYI. Jump out of there.
You understand.
Which one do we got? Bleed. For Half-Life gone. Let me show you how to recreate this build. Now let's break down the skills, and I'm just going to go right down the line. And remember, this is an ignite build. It is very different. Starting with Summon Wraith. Give you 1 second to screenshot it. Moving on, you want 1 into LOR, 1 into Locus of Death, and on here, this is where they cannot move. You are basically making turrets. You're making Wraith turrets, and they're very, very strong. 2 into Grave Reality, more health, 4 into Delay the End, they live longer, 1 into Spirit Link, 1 into Dawn of the Fall, 3 into Dusk of the Living, this is your damage through your crit and crit multiplier. 4 into Wraithbringer, they will shoot quicker and cost less mana. 2 into Flame Wraith, this is make it where you make only fire. Wraiths, 1 into Fallen Reclamation, this is a wasted point, but it gets you 2 more Wraiths in Covenant of the Souls. This is your main damage. As far as if you're just talking summons, they do lots of damage. And I like stacking them on top of each other. It just looks like a fire line. Moving over to Summon Skeletal Mage. 1 second to screenshot it. Moving on, you want 5 into Grave Tide, 3 into Putrid Essence, 1 into Pyromancers, 4 into Flame Rot, 1 into Inferno, 2 into Grey Merchant, 1 into Order of Death, 2 into Speed, 3 into Splintered Dominion, and 2 into Frenzy. Now, when I was playing this on stream last night, I didn't take anything up top. I went my normal Cellar Mortis, Gray Merchant, Putrid Essence, because I wanted that crit chance. And then I started thinking and I started doing more testing. And I actually pulled every point out of Cellar Mortis. I took 1 point out of Gray Merchant and I pulled 1 point out of Putrid Essence. Because you want more projectiles, more chances at ignite. You also want Frenzy, greater speed, more projectiles, greater chance to ignite. So I had to kind of break my own thought process around crit and crit multiplier. They still crit every other hit, just not a guaranteed crit. But again, this is an ignite build. So your skeleton mages will be igniting like crazy, and they have a greater ignite effect through Flame Rot. Okay. Moving over to summon Bone Golem, 1 second. And I have to say, this is the first time I've run Bone Golem like this ever. Literally ever. Normally I go bottom left for Meat Shield. You want 1 into AOR, 5 into Burning Bones, 1 into Pyre Golem, and 5 into World Pyre. Now on here, just like your mages that are going to be igniting, here, Golem is going to have melee ignite chance with damage over time. And you're going to have, through World, you're going to have increased damage over time and fire aura area. That's why it is so large on screen. Then you come down, unnatural speed. This is going to make all your minions quicker. 2 into AOS, and then 4 into Tower of Bones. So the idea is that you have the largest possible golem. He has the largest possible area of effect, and everybody is going to be attacking him where he is also going to be igniting for you. It works really well. Moving over to summon Volatile Zombie. Now your zombie, just like your golem and mages, are also going to be igniting like crazy. Like I said, this is a dot build. You want 2 into Forceful Commander, 5 into Army of Rot, 1 into Flammable, 1 into Vomit, 4 into Wretched Innards, 1 into Putridity, can't say that word, 1 into Daunting Blast, 2 into Dreadful Horde, 2 into Ravenous, and 2 into Pull of the Grave. So I respect this skill 2 100 times. I went bottom right because I wanted to stay alive with ward, but it really didn't generate that much ward. I was having problems with mana because I was trying to make zombies and then wraiths at the same time. And what I came to figure out is this is what saved me. Dreadful Horde. For the cost of 2, you can now make 5. And the cooldown actually helps you with mana because you have to wait to you can't just keep respecking or keep using it over and over again. So Dreadful Horde, being able to make 5 for the cost of 2 is awesome. It's awesome. On top of that, we do have our kill threshold. And then just like Golem and Skeletal Mage, 150% poison chance, which is turned into ignite chance. And then over here, your poison chance per second, that is now ignite chance, vomit damage, maximum health lost. It works really, really well. Your zombies are literally just igniting them like crazy. Their explosion damage does good damage, and it has a kill threshold. Awesome skill. Last but not least, Summon Skeleton. Now, if there's anything you want to trade out in this build, it would be Summon Skeleton. Some people use Infernal Shade, some people use Dread Shade. All of those work really, really well. But since I'm doing minion dot, I want as many minions as possible on the screen. So that's why we went with 9 Flame Archers. Okay? The way you want to do this is 2 into Unbound Necromancy, 1 into Gravewalkers, 4 into Marrowtap. This is how you keep them alive. 5 into Necrotic Conviction, 1 into Hollow Walkers, 5 into Unholy Rage, 1 into Marrowwalkers, 1 into Lone Guardian, 1 into Mightier Than the Sword. This is so you may only make archers, and then 1 into Fire Arrow, because that is where they're going to get their damage from. And you can make 9 of them. 9. I had a hard time keeping them alive. They're still the main minion that dies, but I've learned through Marrowtap, them leeching a portion of the damage as health is what will help keep them alive. Those are the skills. Moving over to passives, and yes, this Necromancer is level 100. Level 100. Starting off in the base class, you want 8 into Forbidden Knowledge, 7 into Stolen Vitality, 5 into Dark Rituals, and 1 into Soul Aegis. That is it. None of this other stuff. Rather take the intelligence. By the way, in this build, you're going to have tons of necrotic resistance. Okay? Nothing into Lich. We don't have Warlock, and 92 points into Necromancer. You want 8 into Risen Army, 5 into Grave Thorns, 1 into Blood Armor, 10 into Mortal Tether, 1 into Unbound Necromancy. 5 into Effigies, 3 into Tyrant, 3 into Cling, and you just go right around. Cling to Life, 4 into Empty the Graves, 1 into Discipline of the Necromancy, 10 into Rite of Undeath, 10 into Moonlight Pyre, 10 into Blades of the Forlorn, 10 into Heresy, 5 into River of Bones, 5 into Frantic Summons. So you can change this, you could change this around a lot if you wanted to. I just like running it this way. Take everything at the end. It is all really, really good. You can go more into survivability if you are struggling with that. You can go back into the base class if you want and take armor, and you could take increased damage. But for the most part, I just like going this way. You're still going to putting a lot of points into crit and crit multiplier, so your summons are still doing a lot of damage. But again, it is focused on dot. That is why we are taking as much as we can into minion fire that it gives us. Those are the passives. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with idols. And I like this because the idols, it works perfectly based upon what we have available. Increase minion fire damage, increase minion fire damage, increase minion fire damage, and increase minion fire damage. You want 4 of them. Okay. You also want chance for summon wraith, or chance for summon wraith to summon flame wraith instead. So you want flame wraith chance, and you want 2 of them because you always want to make flame wraiths. And then you want 1 of them to be minion chance to apply Mark of Death on hit. And on here you can get minion critical strike chance. You have so many hits that even if this was 3% on minion chance to apply Mark of Death on hit, it would still always put it on the enemy. So 1, and this one is just an increased crit. So you will always make flame wraiths every single time because you are over 100%. All right. That is the idols. Moving over to the gear, and this is the first time I am probably ever saying this on the 50 build guides I have made, that this build does require uniques to run it the way I am running it, and they are not super easy uniques to get. Okay. The uniques that are required are the Dragon Flame Edict Staff. And yes, this has 1 legendary potential. And yes, I will be turning this into a legendary item, just waiting to find a good staff to put into it. So with this staff, and this is like, actually, I would say this is the 1 required item. The amulet and the gloves aren't required. This is really the only required item. The reason why is because on here, it can roll as high as 200% chance to ignite on a minion hit. That's why we want Splintered Dominions, so we have more hits from our skeletal mages. That's why we want 9 skeletons shooting fire arrows. It's why we want our melee on our golem. It's why we want our vomiting zombies. Because you're going to be stacking hundreds of stacks of ignite on every single enemy you fight. Okay. On top of this, you're going to get fire damage, minion fire resistance, 60% chance for the nearest minion to the target location to cast Dragon Flame Nova when you use a minion skill. Lots of good stuff focused around fire minion. Okay. The other items that I'm using that are unique is we are using the Hunger Amulet. This gives you a base crit chance for your minions and +2 to fire minion skills. Yes, every skill we are using is fire minion. So that is why. And then down here, we are using Raven's Rise, which gives us our minions increased movement speed, less damage taken while moving, +2 to spell minions, and then some resistances. So again, for a long time, I was using rare items and only the Dragon Flame Edict. I threw on these uniques because I did like having the extra points in the skill tree, but they are not required. Only the staff is required. All right. Helmet. Adaptive spell damage for minions, required in the implicit. Vitality, health, crit chance. Armor, crit chance. Vitality, health, health. Ring, minion damage. Belt, minion mana regen. Ring, minion health, minion damage. Boots, vitality. Move speed. Relic, minion damage, mana regen, resistances, fire damage. That is the gear. Now let's check out the character sheet. Like I said, my character is level 100. We've spec'd a little bit out of intelligence and more into vitality for life now. Intelligence is at 20, vitality is at 40, movement speed 32. It'd be great if we had some tier 7 boots since you don't have a movement skill on here. but it's fine. Our resistances are actually pretty good based upon having 3 different uniques. Our void is basically max, necrotics max, poison max, physical's almost there, cold's max, lightning max, and fire needs a little bit of work. Block, armor, dodge, ward retention. Don't really need to worry about it too much. Under your damage, don't need to worry about it too much. Cast speed is nice, but it's not really needed for this build. Under defenses, we are maxed in endurance. We actually have too much endurance and trying to get a little bit of endurance threshold, and then we need 1 item to get crit avoidance to get us to 100. But the bread and butter is our minion breakdown. Overall minion damage is 312. When you look at increased minion fire damage, we are over 1,000. So 1,003 to fire. Now in here, increased minion health is 313. Critical strike chance is 19, and minion critical strike multiplier is 303. Now this 19 isn't totally accurate, okay? Because when you look through your skills, for example, summon Wraith, in here, critical strike chance 6%, critical strike chance 3%. The nodes from the skill tree don't go into the character sheet. So the base is 19 if you didn't have skill trees bumping that up. So this build does still crit all the time, all right? And that is it for the character sheet. Let's check out the training dummy. Okay. This is what I want to show you. 1 skeleton. All right. See that? Look at that. 1 skeleton is putting ignite on the training dummy, and it looks like it's about 6 stacks. I think at one point it had 8 stacks, 7 stacks. All right. And that 1 skeleton's done shooting. It's about 900 ignite damage on there. Okay. That's what 1 skeleton does. Go away, skeleton. All right, so let's put up 1 mage. That 1 mage is putting up, what, 12 stacks right now, 13 stacks, almost 15 stacks, okay? And damage is decent. Like I said, I went a little bit out of crit, so it's still critting 6,000, 40,000, 4,000. Again, this is a dot build. And now when that mage is done shooting, getting about 2,000 damage of ignite on the training dummy. Okay, go away. Now let's make... Oh, I can't make 1 zombie. All right, we'll make 5 zombies. Obviously, max stacks of ignite, and then they blow up, and they're putting about 13,000 damage of ignite on the training dummy. Now let's throw up 1 flame wraith. All right, so now we're putting, what, 8 stacks of ignite, hitting for 18,000 when it crits on the training dummy. And now I'm going to have you stop shooting and putting about 3,000 damage. Okay, now let's put it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make our big boy. And now what I'm going to do is summon some wraiths. Let's let our mana come back up. Okay, you ready for this? And go. $68,000 damage igniting on the training dummy. So when you are focus firing all of your minions, not only are they getting the base damage and crit, they are also ticking 68,000 damage a second. Let me show you again. I know it's quick, okay? So when I tell my minions to stop firing, keep your eye on the training dummy. Ready? Just gonna wait for the zombies to explode. Well, that time it said 54. I probably missed the first tick. Crazy damage. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. Now, I should have mentioned that if you are hunting for the Dragon Flame Edict Staff, you will find it fighting the Emperor of Corpses in the Reign of Dragons. I have 3 of them. That is where you go and find that staff to make this build work. My 8th iteration of my Fire Necro. I want to know what you think. Do you like the raw damage minions, or do you like the dot ignite melt everything minions? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm sure you've heard by now that I've officially started to Twitch, streaming on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, having so much fun with the ARPG community. We created this new Ignite build together as a community last night when we were playing. Always a good time. First link in the description. And by the way, almost every single stream I do, I have a giveaway, so a chance to interact and win something as well. If you haven't had a chance to join the official Action RPG Discord, please do so. We're now over 1,300 members, great conversations every day. The idea is to create a gaming community that could jump from game to game together, so you never start the server alone. Link for that Discord is also in the description. And by the way, I now have over 20 viable build guides, all linked in the description below. All have loot filters and build planners, so if you're looking something different than Necro, that might be down there as well. All right, that's all I got. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.